I'm not in a relationship because I'm not lovable, I've got nothing to offer a friendship, I'm not fun, I'm not confident. Welcome to Tits 20s everybody. This is a channel about discussing the things that I've gone through and trying to share a little bit of wisdom and a little bit of my knowledge and insight on something that I've faced. Now today we're talking about loneliness, and well, it's a vast topic, it's a big topic, and every person's situation that's brought them into a state of feeling lonely is completely different. So literally from a friendship breakdown to being heartbroken from a long-term relationship, or loss and bereavement, or moving to like a new place or a new country, starting a new job, just being in a situation where you find yourself lonely. And the first step that I realised that was so important for getting out of the state when I felt that I was lonely, and for me it was just a certain situation where moving to a new area, starting in a new job, and not having the relationships that I had once around me, so being by myself and and single, and yeah, and that was my state. And the first thing and the most fundamental thing is focusing on truth. And people say, so what exactly is truth? And okay, so let's take it back one step and say, what are you focusing on? What is your focus? If you're focusing on negativity and focusing on a lie that has either been fed to you from somebody, from a family member, someone you loved, or in an argument or something, and something that's been fed to you that you are unloved, or you do not deserve to be going out or having as much fun as someone else because you have nothing to offer and nothing to bring. You've been heartbroken because you're not lovable and you shouldn't be in a relationship, and you're not beautiful enough or handsome enough or fit enough, or you're not going to do well at your job that you've just been given, and you're in this new position where you've got different opportunities and you're not going to be successful at it. All of that you focus on, and all that negativity that you allow inside your head, is you focusing on a lie. And a lot of people say, I don't meditate, I'm not into all of that. But actually, if the first thing you wake up with and the last thing you go to bed at night is the same thing that you're focusing on, and during the day you're feeding yourself this negative energy and you're focusing on it, you're actually meditating on something. And then that's why that meditation on that negativity is fueling that state that you're in of feeling lonely, and feeling that you're in that situation, you deserve to be in that situation. So it's about changing that perspective, and it can be done because, again, just naturally as humans, we tend to, not everyone does, and again, I used to do this quite a lot, but tend to focus on the negative a lot more. And it's even that situation where you may be given 10 compliments over something that you've done, and the one negative is what gets you to the core a lot more. And naturally, so we've got to make conscious steps not to focus on the negative, and a conscious decision to say that I'm not going to allow all this negativity inside me, but I'm going to focus on the positive and focus on the truth. So what is your truth? And this is a difficult one, because you could be in a state where you don't believe the positive about you. You can't see any positive about your situation. And instead, what you could do is, what is the good things that have been said to you before in the past? Or what do you admire about a certain person? What are the characteristics that you admire about that person? And start associating it with yourself. What do you want to leave an impression with when people have either a relationship with you or have an interaction with you? Do you want them to feel do you want to feel confident, or be able to impart some joy and some fun, or whatever characteristics that you want to start having, or you might have had before, you probably have, and you just want to start associating them with yourself again. You've got to start focusing on them. And this is do whatever it takes to make a conscious decision to focus on that. So it might be sticking post-it notes around your bedroom wall, or on the ceiling before you go to bed, so it's the last thing you look at night, or in the morning when you're brushing your teeth, if it's on your bed, your bathroom mirror, or it's whatever works for you. It could be that it's a screensaver on the back of your phone, or if you read a lot, something that you stick in your book or whatever you read, and just whatever it takes to talk yourself up and talk yourself back into a state of feeling positive and confident. And you know, I don't need to be in this lonely situation or feel lonely. And I forgot to say this, I was meant to say this earlier, but somebody once said, you know what, there's two different states. There's that loneliness and there's being alone. And essentially, they're kind of the same situation, because you're still alone. However, you can still be alone and be joyful and enjoy your life, and you know, and still be living and still be loving people, and you know, not being in that state where it's just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing and nobody loves me and nobody wants to go out with me. Yeah, so that's the first thing, is focusing on your truth, and make your truth so core to you, and make a conscious decision to focus on your truth about you. For me, I focused on the promises of them in the Bible. And there was two verses that stood out to me like during this time when I was feeling like low and feeling lonely. And the first one was, I will count your tears and I will give you beauty for ashes. And with that, I was like, what? Like, someone cares about the situation I'm in more than me. And particularly because I couldn't even express it to anybody else or have the confidence to tell anybody else about the situation I was in. And to know that someone cares about that. So I'll count your tears and give you beauty for ashes. So it's like all of these relationships that are like just ashes in my life right now, that have just fizzled out and they've just wrecked and ruined, and you know, like my perspective, and like I'm negative about like this new job that I'm in, that I could potentially ruin it and it could turn to ashes, and all of that. It's like that will be wiped away and I'll give you beauty for ashes. And I was like, you know what, we are entitled to a beautiful life. So that was something that I had to just remind myself on, and like keep reading that and keep just trying to say, wow, okay, that could be my life. And the other thing was, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And so with liberty and freedom, you know, if you're in a state of feeling lonely and sorry for yourself, you're not living freely and you're not living to your fullest potential, and there's like, you're trapped inside your own mind about what's going on, and it's not freedom at all. So with that verse, it's like I spent time, and I don't think I did it consciously. So again, this is something that I learned that I would do and apply next time as a conscious step, is to spend time where I feel God's presence and I feel at ease and I feel peaceful. And for me, it's like at a seaside or by the sea or in nature, and that's where I feel God's presence most. Or being in a church as well. For me, that's where I feel God's presence. So it could be different for anybody. It could be like playing music or creating something, doing art. Everybody's completely different, and whether or not like you believe in God or you're a believer, it's just that being somewhere that brings you peace. And it's like you kind of, your outlook again, again, you don't realize it happening, but your outlook is slightly changing on life. And it's like, wow, God can still be in the situation that I'm in, and something good and something nice and beautiful will happen from whatever situation that I'm finding myself in now. Focusing on truth of who you are as a person and all that goodness about you, and take on what you admire about other people and start associating it with you. Let that start being your truth, and focusing on the promises in the Bible, for me, is what helped me massively. So this is the most important thing, is focusing on truth. Take away that negativity and be like, I am not meditating on you anymore, no more at all. Starting life again or starting to live life again. So you find yourself in this situation that, you know, either your friends can't be reached, or they've decided to exit your life, or people don't have enough money or time to do certain things that, you know, you want to start doing. So it could be like little things, like little hobbies that you want to start doing, or it could just be just going by yourself to cinema, or going by yourself to a restaurant, or you know what, pursuing this dance lesson, or doing bird spotting, whatever it is that you're into. This time that you have by yourself is so beautiful, because especially if you are constantly the type of person, that was me as well, that prefers to be out, be around people, be in a relationship, or be with, you know, friends all the time, and you don't have enough time for yourself to develop yourself. And this could be a period of time, actually, maybe you are meant to be alone, to start pursuing all these different types of things that have been put in your heart to do, but you never did because nobody wanted to do them with you, or no one was as interested in them as you were. So now you have this time to start doing it, whatever it is that builds yourself up and makes you realize that you've got to start being whole. Even again, if it's going into a relationship or going into a friendship, you don't want to be the one that's constantly sucking the life out of other people, because you've got nothing else to give. You're not a whole person. And it's a big thing, especially if you're used to just doing things with other people. It's a big step, but just take baby steps. Take that baby step to, like, you know, you're doing this by yourself and then you're doing that by yourself. And actually, even when you do start pursuing these new goals and these new hobbies, people are going to start coming to you. You're going to start meeting these people out where you're going and meeting people with the same interests as you, and as you're growing as a person, maybe even different values as you. So the people that have either taken a backseat or have exited your life temporarily, maybe they're making new space for these new relationships, because we've got a limited amount of time, we've got a limited amount of resource, so we can't maintain every single relationship in our life. We can't have too many, because then we're just giving everyone a little bit of ourselves. So maybe it's a good thing that you're in this stage, and you will find the right people that are going to start coming out. But just focus on enjoying yourself and pursuing what you need to be doing. So that's a big thing. Third thing is pretense, and not making life about pretense, because one thing social media can do, it's so easy to follow everybody's life and to see everything that they're doing, or even just see like a glimpse of the highlights of their life. And then you could be at that state where you're just at home by yourself with your like ready meal or whatever, your pot noodles for one, and you're there just scrolling. This person's having fun here, this person's doing this, I'm just at home. And you know what, it's taking yourself out of that and being like, hold on, social media is good. It's good for like highlighting what you're doing and your life and stuff, but you cannot compare your life to anybody else's. In fact, we are all in our own lane, in our own race, and we're not racing against the next person to have the most fun, to be in the best relationship, to have the best friendships, to have the best business. We are all in our own lane. And when it's just, again, it might even be bad for you just following everybody. Start living your life. Start doing what you want to be doing everything that, you know, makes you feel alive and makes you feel like you're curious about certain things. Start doing it and stop watching other people's, or even being that person that's pretending to be okay and pretending to be in that state where, oh yeah, my life's all popping. So don't make it about pretense. And even like the last thing that I will say about the pretense thing is, when you do get to that state and it's literally like, you know what, I need to reach out to somebody, I need to tell them that, you know, this new job that I've just got, I'm feeling a certain way about it, and it's not looking as rosy as I'm making it out to be. Or this relationship that I've just come out of, you thought I handled it well and I haven't, and I'm feeling like this. Or, you know what, I've moved to another location, I moved to this other place and I'm just not settling in well. And sometimes it is about taking that step to, you know what, say, I need to reach out to somebody, and I need to stop making it about everyone thinking that I'm okay when I'm not okay. And this is another key thing, that you need to know yourself when you need to reach out to someone you love and tell them what the situation is. Because right now, this video and what I'm talking about, it's not about anxiety or depression, because that's a whole nother topic for another day. But loneliness can be a massive vehicle into that, and the longer you stay in that stage, feeling sorry for yourself and feeling a certain situation, it can lead to all these other things which are so much harder to move out of and harder to overcome. So just as a highlight again, focus on your truth and focus on truth. And this is so key. This is like the most important thing, to start training yourself to take in the positive and leave the negative behind. And the next thing is to start living your life. You have this time, change your perspective on that situation, and actually you could be alone for a reason on purpose. Well, for a reason on purpose. It could be that you're meant to be alone right now, to start pursuing everything you need to do, and people will start coming your way, the right people that you know, you can build each other up and start developing like relationships, or start you know, creating businesses or thinking of ideas and things like that, and the right people will start coming in. And the last thing, don't make it about pretense, and don't compare yourself to anybody. Your life is meant to be unique, and your life will never be like your best friends or by this person's or this person. You might have similarities, but you are in your own lane, and you're entitled to have a beautiful life and entitled to live a life like, you know, that you can be joyful, even though it's going to be seasonal, and like you, one minute you'll be in relationships, one minute you'll be out, one minute you'll be by yourself. Remember that you are entitled to be joyful. And yeah, that's it. Please like and share, subscribe, tell me what you think, tell me if this has helped you at all. I know it's just a little highlight, and it's just a little snapshot into what I did and what I learned from that situation of my loneliness period. But I know that everybody's situation is different, and there's so many different scales of this, but I hope that this might help a little bit. So please share, send to somebody. You never know, you might be helping somebody by sending this out. I'll speak to you soon, and yeah, if you've got any questions, just email me or comment, and I'll speak to you soon.